Hey guys, this is gonna be the post-match analysis of Chelsea versus Spurs. Spurs won at Stamford Bridge, I think, after 20 years or so. A 3-1 victory, effectively putting an end to Chelsea's top four hopes after they won the title last year. This is my post-match analysis. Let me know what he thinks in the comments below. Thank you.
So these were the two teams, Chelsea in red and Spurs in blue and in green over here. So Spurs played with a 4-2-3-1. Chelsea set up with a 5-2-2-1 or 3-4-3 or however you want to call it. 3-5-2 if you want. No, it wasn't really a 3-5-2. That would not be right. So 3-4-2-1 more accurately, especially in attack, because in defense the fullbacks do tend to come back a little bit. So that's how Chelsea set up right off the bat. But I think one thing you can see is that Spurs were very narrow at the back, especially in the beginning. So they had the back four. This allowed Chelsea's fullbacks to get forward quite often, like Alonso and Moses. So let me just go through the squad. Moses, so you had Caballero in goal in place of Courtois. You had Rudiger, Azpilicueta, Christensen. You had Kante, Fabregas, Alonso, Moses. You had Morata, Hazard, and Willian. Though these two kept switching places as well. You had Son here, who throughout the game was pretty evident that the Spurs missed Kane because the Chelsea centre backs dealt with Swan really well in that position. You had Eriksen starting on the left, Ali behind him, Lamela on the right. You had Dyer and Dembele in midfield. You had Trippier, then there was Davies, Dyer. Trippier, Davies, Sanchez, Vertonghen, Dyer and Dembele in midfield, and Lloris as goalkeeper. So as I said right off the bat, the four are narrow, so the fullbacks got a lot of width for Chelsea in the first half. You can see especially Alonso in these positions as he gets through wide, and you can even see Moses getting wide. That's how we see the first goal. Another thing was Chelsea tried to play through midfield with Fabregas. This kind of seemed a little bit risky to me because they played just with one central defensive midfielder, and that might have allowed Spurs to dominate more in the central midfield. But because we had Ali here in place of Eriksen, which what Pochettino changed in the second half, he moved Ali to the left, Eriksen to the center, Lamela to the center up front, and Son to the width. That was just to get some more width in the team. So because of that, because of initially in the first half they just had Dyer and Dembele being occupied with these two and these two, it's sort of they didn't have that midfield dominance that Spurs usually have. They had a little bit more position, but that was about it. So the first goal is actually very simple. Spurs are defending as a back four, quite narrow over here. They're actually in decent position. There's not much wrong with it. That's how they plan to set up. Moses gets the ball out here on wide, and then he crosses in, and Lloris comes forward, misses the ball, giving Morata an easy header, and he scores. So basically, Chelsea with their formation, they were able to get down wider, their fullbacks up front, and that allowed them to sort of create, put in a few crosses. Even Alonso got in front because the back four was narrow, and if one of these forwards occupied any space here or here, it sort of dragged the centre backs along with them. So that was that allowed Chelsea to have even more width, and that sort of worked with a cross. But usually the whole game, Spurs dealt with all the crosses as well. The equalising goal came from Moses giving the ball away around this location, but it was really just Eriksen picked up the ball. It was a magnificent strike. I mean, there's not much analysis to do there. Could he have been closed down better by the central defenders of Chelsea? Of course he could, but I mean that was a wonder goal. I'm not going to blame any player for that, because he's not going to score that again. 9 times out of 10 he's going to miss that. So that's the 1-1 that sort of gives Spurs the confidence, and they came out and they started the second half more aggressively and better than Chelsea. And the second goal comes from a really good ball from Dyer, because Spurs, what they do a lot is they split the centre backs. They push Dyer or Dembele, in this case Dyer usually, to pick up the ball. He picks up the ball because Spurs like to play out from the back, right? So, and he sees Ali make a run. So at this point, Ali is on the left hand side, Eriksen is center. The second half, Son is here and Lamela is here. Lamela here didn't do much at all the whole game really, but Son provided more width, which is what also helped their counter, which we'll get to for the third goal. So for the second goal, Ali basically pinged the ball here. You had Azpilicueta Dyer pinged the ball from here, and you had Ali making the run over here along with Azpilicueta, who's marking him. For some reason, Azpilicueta decides to hand him over to Christensen, who is really not, he's completely wrong-footed to take on Ali, and that allows him to make the run, and then Azpilicueta is just, caught, trying to catch Ali, but he can't. And credit to Ali for a beautiful finish. But there's a pass from defense over here from Dyer, and you have Azpilicueta who makes the mistake of not marking his runner as he should, and that would have made it much harder. But as we saw, he was behind him, simply didn't mark him. But a beautiful pass and a beautiful finish and a run from Ali. Moving him from center to the left really helped. It allowed him to make more runs into the box as well. So Pochettino made a great change in the second half. Chelsea in the second half didn't do too much for me. They did get across, they got down wide, they crossed a few balls in. Hazard and Willian basically made runs over here, but they weren't really successful. They weren't really clinical. After the 1-1, after 2-1, they really dropped down. You could see the confidence was going. That's how the season has been all the season. And in the third goal, you can see clearly that the centre backs of Chelsea are split because they're all trying to push forward and get the attack. Eriksen, who's gone centre by now in the second half, that allowed Spurs to dominate the midfield more. He gets the ball, plays a beautiful ball out to Son, who makes the run. Along with, Son who made the run, right? And the ball gets sort of all sorts of mixed up. Son reaches into the box. They're all in the box. Lamela, Ali, Son, and the ball rolls in on the box. Chelsea should have really cleared it. If you look at the game, Christensen had a chance to clear. He was, at this point, they were all deep here. Christensen had a chance to clear it, but then Alonso is also back. Alonso's all by the time made his sort of time back into the box. You have Alonso who tries to basically fouls Christensen as he's trying to clear the ball because of a huge mix-up in the box. They're all out of position because they caught out in a counter, and Spurs managed to score a goal. So that was basically how they scored a third goal. A counter for them is not really the analysis. It's basically just a quick counter attack because Chelsea are pushing forward. They're pushing forward to try and score a goal, but eventually they couldn't really do that. They were really not clinical, and that sort of allowed them to come back into the box and score some goals. Allowed Spurs to come back into the box and counter. So the third goal was a counter attack. The second, a beautiful ball from Dyer. The first goal was a majestic goal from Eriksen. So that's how basically all three goals happened for Chelsea versus Spurs. Chelsea are now 5th. 8 points behind Spurs. I don't expect them to
Hey guys, thank you for watching the video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel if you want to be updated with all the videos that I put up on YouTube. You can also follow me on Facebook if that's better for you, or subscribe on YouTube. That's even better. So whichever one you like, whichever medium you like, and let me know what you thought of the game. Let me know what you thought of the video. I'm working on also improving sort of the way I shoot these videos as well. So if you have any ideas for that, don't hesitate. And have a great day. And looking forward to the Champions League games in about 10 hours, less than. Yeah, about 8 hours. Okay, cheers. Good night.